As we finish up the Pattern Academy, I wanted to take a minute to show you one of my personal favorite ways to create a pattern. It's called the Silver Pattern Method, and ever since I learned it a few years ago from one of my sewing mentors, it's been one of my favorite techniques. It's especially useful for dolls that are too small to measure, dolls you don't have a sloper for, dolls that are shaped unusually and you can't quite figure out how to get the fit right. It's also great for stuffed animals. I once made a shirt for a parrot puppet using this technique. It's awesome, it's fast, it's easy, and the best part is all you need is a roll of aluminum foil. Step 1. Cut a piece of foil a little bit bigger than the front or the back of your doll. Cut a little dent out of the foil so that you can get the foil up closer to her neck. Then begin pressing the foil around her body. Make sure that you press in things like the arm's eye at her arm joint, and then use your thumbnail or a marker to mark center front, the side seam, and the shoulder seam. If you want to draw in design lines, now is a good time to do that as well. Then lift the foil off your doll and cut along the lines you marked. If you're working with a curvy doll, then also cut in lines for the bust darts. Gently flatten out your foil pieces, and then trace them onto paper, add seam allowances to all the edges, cut them out, and give them a trial run in muslin before you move on. You can use the same principle to drape patterns in foil for smaller, curvier dolls as well. Just make sure that when you lift it off and slash away all of the excess, that you also cut in bust darts so that way when you flatten it out, the shaping is preserved. So here I have my foil pieces, as well as the finished paper patterns, which I've made by tracing off my foil pieces and adding seam allowance. These paper pieces are then what I would construct my mock-up from, and from there I would adjust the fit and continue as we described when Karen showed you how to do the muslin method. Now, as you may have guessed, the silver pattern method is inherently a little bit more prone to error, just by the nature of what it is. That's why we recommend that, if possible, you continue developing your new patterns from the slopers we give you. However, if the fit of a certain thing is really bothering you and you can't figure it out, or if you've got a doll that's shaped in an unusual way, the silver pattern method can be a great tool to help you get these questions answered.